I want to show you something that we came up with, the path to 10K a month. We wanted to try and simplify this for you as much as possible. And so here's the typical kind of evolution of somebody on Skool. And I'm going to walk you through these different steps. So, everyone starts as a member. This means you're like a total noob. You just signed up for Skool. You've got a user account, right? Like that's where everyone begins. So what's the first step? I honestly think the first step is to become a top contributor of a few communities. This doesn't mean number one, because sometimes, there's someone that goes insanely hard for number one, right? And it might not make sense for you to be number one, but, at least in the top 10, 20 or something like that. And this is super important. And it's a step that I swear most people miss. The reason why people make stuff is because they first of all kind of fall in love with it being a customer or a user of that thing. I'll give you some examples. Like most people who make video games, they first of all started off playing video games. And they fell in love with playing video games that they decided to make one. And then they knew how to make a good video game because they had used a lot of good video games. And I know Mr. Beast, he was PewDiePie's biggest fan. So before he became a big creator, he was like probably the number one fan of other creators, right? And the same thing goes with like building apps for an iPhone or something. Like imagine trying to make an app for the iPhone without ever using an app. You would have no idea. And the same thing goes, for communities and things. Like you should first of all join some communities, engage with them, show up daily, and interact with other people and see how some different people do it. And by doing that, you will start to get ideas about how you can make your own. And then there's free group owner. This is definitely the best place to start. Like you make your own group, could be about anything, and then it's free. So there's not much friction for people to join. You get people in there and you start to build that up. You start to get people to engage. And then over time, you learn what kinds of things people want. And then you might be able to start charging for it, right? Or you might have people join your free group, but then, you might help them with one-on-one coaching, or maybe it's services, or it's things like that, right? And that kind of nicely transitions into this stage, which is making money. Now, this might start by, there's a few different ways this could start. Like, let's say you get a couple of affiliate sales on Skool, right? So you're paying $99 a month on Skool. Now, let's say you get like 3 referrals. Well, now you're making $20 a month and you're not paying anything for Skool. So that's good, but it's not enough to be full-time. But then let's say you land a couple of gigs. Like I know that on Skool, there's tens of thousands of communities. And what that means is a lot of people are looking for community managers. And so you might, and let's say they tell you, I'll pay you like $3,000 a month to help me with my community. And if you get 3 of those clients, now you're a community manager for like three communities, you're making $9,000 a month, you're making 20 from affiliates. And then you transition your free group into a paid group and it starts making a couple of $100, then $1,000. And before you know it, you've got a blend of things going on. You've got your own paid group, you've got a few gigs, and you've got some affiliate sales, and that all adds up to about $10,000 a month. That's when you can start to go like full time. Like you might be doing this initially on the side of a 9-to-5 job. So let's say you've got a 9-to-5 job, you're getting a few side hustle gigs, some affiliate income, a paid group that's making a bit. As soon as that starts to replace your job, you can like jump over and do Skool full time. And this is, I swear, the hardest part is to go, it's these like, whoop, that totally ruined that. The hardest part is to go from here to the full-time step. And where most people go wrong is they try to just go from a member to like a Skool Games winner, honestly. And that can only work if you've already got like a YouTube channel, or you've already got an email list, or you already know what you're doing and you've got a built-up reputation. Then sure, you can just come in and let it rip and win the Skool Games, right? Some people can come in, let it rip, and make $100,000 MRR, but that's not most people. And so if you're a full-on beginner, I do think these steps make sense. And then once you're full-time on Skool, that's pretty good. Now you can work from home, you can work from wherever you want in the world. You're making a full-time income. That might be $10,000 a month or more, or it might be less. Depends how much it costs to live where you live. And that's pretty cool. We want to get as many people to this step, to this stage as possible, right? And from here, you can level up to become a Skool Games winner. You get to come out to Vegas, you get the physical award, and you also might get a Cybertruck if you come first place. And a lot of people might just be content here, right? Do whatever you want, you live in the dream. But there's also, another stage. You could also make $100,000 a month MRR, which is like the ultimate. And there's people, doing all of these different steps. But, one thing we've noticed from observing like 8 Skool Games so far, which is like 80 different winners and millions of people on the platform, is they tend to follow this kind of evolutionary path.
And so if all this school stuff sounded interesting to you, I do have an easy offer for you. You can go to skool.com/games. And what we have inside for you is we have 3 calls a week with guys who are actually making tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on Skool, using the platform, teaching you exactly what they did step by step. So we've got calls for you of other people. We've got a community of others to help you out. And I think the benefit here is that you get people who are both starting with you at zero, but people who are also at the end of the race cheering you on. And so you kind of have like 3 types of accountability. So you've got peer accountability, you've got kind of like coach accountability because people are rooting for you, but then you also have alumni accountability, people who've already been through it. And then I made a course that I put in there. It's free. It just shows you how to do this, the different ways to play the game, the different kind of like avatars that you can self-select. Maybe I'm somebody who likes making content. Maybe I'm somebody who's better at ads. Maybe I'm somebody who already has an audience. Maybe I'm somebody who likes outbound. Maybe I'm somebody who likes to have a partner. So I break down all the different paths that you can use to really start making money on the internet with what I think is the easiest business model out there. The best part, in my opinion, is that all of this stuff, obviously we have the prizes, the top 10 get to fly out, so hopefully you can do that. But you only need 3 people, and I just did a 1-day full deep dive. It's 8 hours of me just helping the top 10 communities scale, and those recordings are live right now. So if I had a $100,000 mastermind or something, this would be it, except it's yours and it's free. And here's my incentive for you. If you just get 3 people into your group. All right, so I like to put as low as I possibly could. You get 3 people into your group. You can get your friends in there. I don't care if you cheated. It's fine. Get 3 people into your community, and you get all the downloads from that. And all of this stuff, you can start for free for 14 days, just so you can get a feel for it. You can go in there, download everything, and steal it all for all I care. All right? But my hope is that you actually use it so you can make your first dollar. And I will just repeat this one stat because I think it's the most important stat I think of the business right now, is that 30.4% of people who finish their first month of the Skool Games make their first dollar online.